Hi there. This is Prasad, Mynumpati. Let's talk about Oracle Apps DBA R12. There are many requests like on Oracle Apps DBA. Hey, can you really brief us on what are all the responsibilities, and many are requesting for the demos and all that. So we just thought of just making one and then put it available for everyone, so that those who are in need, they can go through that and get some idea before they can make a decision on Apps DBA. So it's basically a majority is going to be on R12, and we will be talking about 11.5 10.2 also, wherever we have tech stack differences between prior version and R12. So those areas basically we going to talk about the differences, and we do talk about prior version with respect to the directory structures on apps tier and stuff like that. So majority, I would say 80% on R12. I would say 15 to 20% on going to be 11.5 10.2. Well, what do we need to know before we can take up on the Apps DBA? Prerequisites. Prerequisites are like the first thing, Oracle database administration is a prerequisite, I would say. And this is also we have seen many is asking, hey, can we take up the Apps DBA without core database administration? Our recommendation is take core then apps, because apps is not, in apps we don't really cover much on the database side. Database administration itself is so huge, where we spend almost 6 to 8 weeks just to cover up the things, prerequisites of core and then core database itself. And Apps DBA, in fact, apart from core database side. So that's the reason, even if we look at Oracle Corporation curriculum, you don't see really talking too much on Oracle database administration. They might touch base on AWR report and stuff like that, a little bit on the database side, but it's not really core database administration. It's not included in Apps DBA. So because of that, we say having good knowledge on core will help you in understanding and in managing apps database roles and responsibilities. Well, what's the difference by core and the Apps DBA? Because we are talking about better knowing the core before we can take up the Apps DBA, because core database comes with a lot of architecture stuff. How do you manage different files that which belongs to database? How do you protect each and every file that which belongs to database by multiplexing or maybe using data guard setups and stuff like that? And then we do talk about ASM and then backup recoveries to protect in case So there's a lot more stuff which we discuss in core side. So this is purely on database front. We are not really responsible with respect to applications in terms of managing them. We might help development team, and we have to work with the development team and other teams to get the migrations to production by using different tools like Quintana or whatever it is. So that aspect, it's involved, in core side. Coming to Apps DBA side, Apps DBA is responsible for managing and maintaining the environment of application tier also. The architecture is completely different. In normal situations, it's two dimensions, it's 2-tier. When we talk about apps, Oracle applications, it's a completely 3-tier architecture. It's a pure 3-tier architecture. So apart from the database, Apps DBA is responsible for getting all the required changes with respect to individual products in terms of applying patches and preparing the environments like using cloning and stuff like that. and they got to really work closely with the development team and testing team and other teams, depends upon the role they are into. So it's a lot different than core DBA, between core and apps. I would say apps DBA, majority of the time he is living in patching and cloning. I would say 80% of it. Majority of the time, because a lot more enhancements are required for products, and products are developed by Oracle Corporation itself. So we have to work with the different teams, like support teams or development teams. And with corporation, because it's all seeded, you got to get the help from them in addressing the various kinds of issues. And there are best practices already set by corporation, which we follow in order to move things forward. As I just said, roles and responsibilities. So taking care of the application environment along with the database, it's a lot more responsibility, but it made easy because of the tools that are provided by Oracle Corporation itself in managing apps environment. So core also we have tools, but you need to really know a lot on the architecture part and all that. So here also we have the architecture, file systems, environment files, XML files. How do you really make sure the environment is really perfect, it's working, and you have start stop scripts, and how do you start and stop the services that's supposed to up and running on individual nodes, and then different tiers that we configure, and that's what we're going to talk during the installation process. Market demand, we don't need to really talk much about that because it all goes by the proofs. You can get on net, and then if you are already working, you must be knowing about the market demand, about the apps DBA. And Oracle applications is a great product for financial institutions. And the competitor of Oracle applications in ERP is SAP. Is really great product for manufacturing. In order to compete with the SAP, Oracle acquiring many products like PeopleSoft, which is a great product for HR, acquired by Oracle, and then that's embedded with the Oracle applications itself. And we used to have planning, and even now people are using planning, but there is a product which is acquired by Oracle, which is dMantra, a really famous product and really great product in doing forecasting and stuff like that. So that's how Oracle made Oracle applications product so strong and stubborn, reliable. So that's how Oracle implementations you start seeing a lot more than before. Now with R12 there are many upgrade projects and all that. So whatever we say upgrade, or you get the enhancement, a lot to do with the patching. For patching, prepare the environment, cloning. Well, when we are talking what do I need to know about apps DBA, as I just said, majority of it, how do you take care of the patchings, what are the best practices, how do you maintain the environment. In order to maintain the environment, you need to know the environment first of all. That's where we cover. That's what we cover in the architecture part. And let's see the further slides in detail. So basically, how this course is going to help us in getting into those apps DBA roles. This is basically designed to understand and well versed with the environment, so that one can really get familiar with the things that are there in the Oracle applications with respect to database tier or application tier, and in the desktop tier, and then different technology stack components and stuff like that. So you get familiar with all kinds of tools that you're going to use that you need to use eventually in order to maintain the environment. So all these tools will help you on floor in performing the required tasks or job. Well, what's covered next basically? So we just start with Oracle applications overview. where we're going to discuss about various things like what is there in Oracle applications, like and what made this Oracle applications so special than database side, and things like what kind of interfaces we have, and the interesting topic is going to be concurrent processing, which is really important for apps DBA to get familiar with how you manage these concurrent managers and the problems with the concurrent programs that which are running in the production. So this is day in day out job for apps DBA. Hey, this program is not coming out. Normally it completes in so and so time, and then in fact I have done one project. That company is Equant, the France telecom company. That's basically just tuning the concurrent managers. That's it. So that explains how important these concurrent programs and then concurrent managers, how do you design, and you get custom stuff also. So things like that, and then we talk about database components, and then various types of file systems on database as well as the application tier, and we will talk about on the technology stack where you get different homes like 10.1.2, 10.1.3, and in case of 12.1 you get 11G release 1. So we do talk about why there is a huge change with respect to technology stack between prior version of R12 and the R12, and the component products, because Oracle applications is nothing but full of all kinds of different products. Oracle supports almost 200 plus different products: account payables, account receivables, general ledger, insurance, you name it, they have HR and stuff like that, and the dependencies on each product, and it's well designed, and it's unbelievable actually if you really look at the complexity of the application and the way they are managing the entire environment by using the provided tools and all that. It's really amazing. And we do talk about other stuff like the testing environment, how one can really learn about Oracle applications with respect to the functionality, getting vision demo database, and we talk about the production databases and the roles and responsibilities of other teams that are working together to accomplish a particular task, like the functional folks and technical folks and DBAs and testing people, how they really work on floor to accomplish or implement and maintain a given environment. And first we try to understand what are all the different areas that we have in an Oracle applications. Then we talk about the installation part, which is very important. So installation can be done single node when you want to practice, and you can do 2 user. On single node you can have single user and 2 user also. 2 user stuff is introduced to enhance the security between application tier and the database tier on server, and definitely in order to have the scalability we can have the multi-node installation so that you can spread across the all the services in different nodes actually. So that's where you get the load balanced very well by keeping the different services on different nodes. And what is accepted, what is not accepted, what is the general practice in corporate, how people really take care of this installation part, and varieties of the installation. That's what we're going to discuss in the installation part. And definitely we will have hands-on on single node versus multi-node. By the way, most of the stuff is done on the Unix environment using the Oracle VM box. Okay. Then once we install the product, we try to understand, hey, what has been installed, and the relation between these directories and stuff like that, the architecture part and different components that we just have installed and all that. As I said, it's a completely a 3-tier architecture, and we're going to talk in depth on 3-tier architecture, what goes on desktop tier in case of forms and HTML applications. We used to call these self-serviced applications, and database tier. And basically it is completely design the database as we normally design any database for a particular application. This is keeping in mind to support multi-language and all kinds of localization stuff like that, and they have done extraordinary extraordinary job. in designing the database tier itself. They made very simple in accessing the database from the application tier itself. We have different schemas like app schema, Apple syspub, and Apple's schema. So the purpose of it, that's the architecture part at the database level, in order to support various products which are very complex ones in managing the different responsibilities and stuff like that. Then we go and talk about the apps tier, and what do we call an apps tier, and what kind of services we need to configure an apps tier, and is it a single node or multi-node installation, things like that. And the most critical thing with Oracle applications is the technology layer, where we cover various tools like AD, FND, application object library, application utilities, workflow, alerts, and OF framework, and XML publisher, and the purpose of it, how this is really going to work as like a middle layer, for the common products across all the different products you get with a lot of different modules with each product. Then we going to talk about Oracle application technology stack components. So we need to understand what is the difference between technology layer and then technology stack components. And so we get different homes and why those are there, and the purpose of it, when to use which one, what is the role, and why do we have three, and what's the difference between 11 and R12. Then enhancements in R12 for tech stack, and the reason and purpose of that enhancement, the benefits that we are going to get because of those enhancements, and all that stuff we will be discussing during that phase. And then we'll be moving on to an application file systems layout and all that, the important files and everything, all product ops and directory structures. And there are common products, there are individual products, and the relationship, how these are maintained, and what kind of tools that we need to use in order to manage that. And one interesting, a new top is been introduced in R12, which is instance top, and we're going to talk about the purpose of it and what is it they're going to provide just by adding one more top apart from all the existing tops and the changes. Oracle Applications Database, as I just said, database design aspect with respect to various schemas in Oracle database. What do we need to know? What are the best practices, where the code goes, where the data goes, and what are the best practices we need to follow. In case of customizations, how would we really take care of this design aspect? And special schemas for Oracle apps and the purpose of it, and the difference between core database and apps database with respect to file system that we got installed by installing Oracle, Oracle Home itself, which is RDBMS Home, and the database is different, Oracle Home is different, right? Then, as I said, there are it's really designed in a beautiful way. If you look at the environment, because the environment itself is so complex, if you really go in depth and look at Oracle applications, what is going to support, I would ask what is not what it is not supporting. It will support shell scripts, Java, forms, HTML, you name it, it will support it. It's very complex. In spite of the complexity, their way of managing the environment is unbelievable by using context file, and they have given certain tools to modify the stuff in the context file using OM, and then getting those changes to appropriate environment files using autoconfig and stuff like that. So all we need to know, the different tools like AD utilities, that's what we call. And AD administration is one tool, is really come in handy, where it contains almost maybe 20 plus tasks to manage, like compile app schema, or maybe generating jar files or form files, or you can check the environment, is it really working fine or not, maybe certain maintenance activities which you need to really perform before you can apply a patch, like keeping in maintenance mode and taking out of the maintenance mode. All the hard work is done by Oracle. So all we need to know and understand how we can use it and which option we need to really use it, when and all that. There are various special utilities like AD controller, which we are going to use in conjunction with parallel processing with respect to like AD patch, or maybe AD admin, because these are the two tools, we use it a lot, and then these tools can run in parallel. So in managing those parallel processes, in case if a particular worker gets in trouble or something like that, definitely we are going to use AD controller is the means to manage those situations and then proceed further. And we talk about AD relink, and then you can relink things from command line, certain things, and then you have to relink from the AD utility itself, and which one should be used, and at that time how the services should be, which one should be up and running, which one should not be up and running, and the practical aspects of using these different tools in a production environment. Plus we're going to talk about the auto config is the main tool. We can easily, this is one thing can tell us, hey, if auto config is successful, 99% of your environment is good with respect to the configuration aspects. So that way you can eliminate the stuff. So majority of the time, if you're not sure about a particular issue or something like that, even Oracle might ask you, hey, why don't you just run the auto config and see if that is going to run properly. So it's a wonderful tool from Oracle Corporation managing the environment. And as I said, patching. So breathe in, breathe out, like patching all the time. Various kinds of patches. Most of the time you may be having different patches, but the way we patch in core is completely different the way we patch in Oracle applications. In core we use a different tool, and Oracle applications we use a different tool. How do we apply the patch? Because core side we are just only caring about the database, and Oracle applications majority of the time, I would say 80% of patching is because of the multiple products and different products. So that's the reason we really talk a lot about AD patch and all that in Oracle applications. Obviously, as the guys who are on core side, OPatch is a tool to patch the database environment. Here in Oracle applications also, if you are dealing with RDBMS home and all that, you will use it OPatch itself. So basically you go by README and all that. The best practices in managing the patches and all that will be covered during the patching time. And then while talking about the patching itself, we can even have the upgrade going, like from 12.1.1 to 12.1.3, and then we can see the upgrade also. Then we talk about the most interesting topic like cloning. For technical knowledge wise, we can talk about the cold, hot, and Arman. In a sense, basically either cold, hot, Arman is only for database. Application tier, it's no difference basically as far as cloning concerned. And the practices that we need to do, pre-clone steps, and cloning, and then post-clone, what do we do, and all that. Yeah. So once we get very good hands-on up to this aspect, we feel comfortable. Then we go to front end. So far, whatever we have discussed is all back-end stuff, which an apps DBA will be doing a lot. I would say 70% of his activity. Like sysadmin is a front-end tool where you can manage all the concurrent managers and stuff like that, and you can configure various parameters for that, and security, user management, and roles and responsibilities. And you can get a lot of history information from sysadmin, and you can license manager, you can see the timing reports, all that stuff you can do using the sysadmin itself. That's what we get to OEM, Oracle Application Manager. So that's a tool, Java based tool where you can really do a lot of stuff from front end also. And as I said, concurrent managers, needless to say, is the critical one with respect to production environments, because concurrent managers are running a lot of data intense processes and long running jobs. So we need to really keep an eye on these to ensure they can complete in time as expected by the business or the management. Okay. Of course, the other aspect is a custom top. How do we set up the custom top, and the best practices to set up the custom top. And then tools like FND CPass, changing the passwords of various users, like an application user or database user or module user, general ledger, account payables, and all that. So one should know the FND CPass, how to use it, and what do we need to do after running the FND CPass. Okay. Well, R12, by default made shared application tier enabled. That's the very purpose of the instance tab. We'll be talking in detail on how do we do that and the benefits of making that shared shared application tier. It's not Appletop. Appletop is the old style. Now they say, why only Appletop? Why not the entire application tier? Hey, go ahead with the application tier itself, so that you can cut down a lot of time on the maintenance and downtime and stuff like that. Then we're going to talk about the high availability. It's not really high availability. PCP is like a kind of load balancing, and then high availability also. So day in day out, like rack, it's like load balancing. You are distributing the processing power across the different application tiers. Okay, what's the distributed AD? And this is also to enhance the to expedite the execution of various processes and executions that we do in Oracle applications itself. Okay, and many people do ask, ASM is one really great thing from Tenji. So they ask, hey, how do we convert a database is not an ASM? So we can really talk about that too. So using RMN really makes it very easy and handy. Okay. All right. That's all we have, folks, for now. Any questions, you can reach us. Thank you very much. Bye now.